भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवे प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna Prabhujis, Hare Krishna, my humble pranams to all of you. So today we are going to discuss an important shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2 and shloka number 18. Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering service to pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental knowledge, transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, it is a very famous shloka. Generally, in all our Bhagavatam classes, we chant this shloka. Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Anybody who has faith or steady, regular service to Bhagavatam, that particular person will come out of all abhadrani, which means inauspiciousness. Then his bhakti is so strong that it is irrevocable. There won't be any loss in his devotion towards Krishna. So there are a couple of things which are very, very important in the shloka. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. This is a very important line. Having a steady service towards Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam means book Bhagavatam as well as person Bhagavatam. We have to serve both the Bhagavata. One is book, Srimad Bhagavatam, with 18,000 shlokas written by Vyasadeva, spoken by Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit. Another is a person Bhagavata who carries Bhagavan in his heart. Bhagavan, Bhagavatam, Bhakti. All these three things which starts with sound Bha is very connected and they are interlinked. And this is used only for Krishna or Vishnu. If somebody says Bhagavan Shiva, Bhagavan Ganesha, Bhagavan Sai Baba, it is inappropriate because This Bha sound is only Parashara Muni, father of Vyasadeva. He says, who is Bhagavan? He gives an explanation for the word Bhagavan. Sadaishwarya Purno Iha Bhagavan Swayam. A person who has got all the 6 opulences in full, Sad Aishwarya Purna, in full wealth, full beauty, no dearth for it. If somebody has the 6 opulences in full, then he is Bhagavan. So as per Parashara Muni, the word Bhagavan cannot be used even for Devas. Then what to speak about using that word for normal human being? So it is inappropriate as per Bhagavatam to use this word Bhagavan for anybody else for that sake. It is only for Krishna or Narayana. But out of love for his devotees, Krishna calls Lord Shiva and Narada Muni as Bhagavan. That Krishna can do. Out of love for his devotees, he is saying that. Like a baby boy is sitting on father's lap and driving the car. Actually, father is driving. But the father has allowed his son to hold the steering and turn it as he wants. But actually, father is controlling. And the father is telling his son, wow, you are driving very nicely. In the same way, out of love for Devas, Krishna is telling Bhagavan Mahadev, Bhagavan Narada, that's out of respect. And sometimes devotees are also called like that by Krishna. So, this Bha sound is only for Lord, Bhagavan. And who is Bhagavata? The person who carries Lord with undivided attention. That is something very important. Because our focus is divided. We focus on Lord as well as we focus on many selfish activities for our own benefit. To be very honest. So, we have divided devotion. But somebody who has undivided devotion unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then he is called Bhagavata. So, if we have devotion towards Krishna and devotees, pure devotees, then what happens? Nashtaprayeshva abhadreshu. Here this word Bhadra is very important. Bhadra means auspicious. Bhadra means favorable. Bhadra means lucky. Bhadra means justice. Bhadra means fortune. Bhadra has got so many meaning. That is why Jagannath's sister is called Shubhadra. Bhadra means auspicious. Subhadra means super auspicious. That's why Shubhadra. So what happens? The moment we have devotion towards Krishna and devotees, equally, we have to serve devotees. When we serve devotees and Krishna equally, abhadrani, all the inauspiciousness, misfortune, unlucky, everything vanishes. We don't have to have any doubt in that. Everything vanishes the moment we relate with devotees and the Lord. Abhadrani, everything goes off. All the abhadra goes off. This word is very important. From Bhagavatam, the personality called Veerabhadra. Veerabhadra, the character comes in Dakshayaga. When Sati went to attend Dakshayaga, the yajna, sacrifice organized by her father, inviting all great personalities in this world, all the devas, sages, rishis, and all kinds of in charges of this 14 planetary system. Daksha purposefully avoided Lord Shiva. And Sati went there forcefully, and she had an argument with her father. Father insulted her husband, Lord Shiva. And Sati felt very bad seeing how her husband is insulted. He being one of the three great controllers of this universe, masters of all the devas, a supreme authority. Still Lord Shiva was insulted, and Sati felt very bad. And she produced fire from her own body and she turned into ashes. When Lord Shiva heard this, Lord Shiva became so upset. Actually, Lord Shiva became very silent. He stopped talking to people. He stopped conversing with people. He became very mouni, silent person. And out of anger, he pulled a hair from his own head. And Veerabhadra came out of that anger of Lord Shiva. And Veerabhadra, collecting all the Bhutaganas, all the ghosts, goblins, looking dark, fearsome, ugly, drinking blood. And Veerabhadra carried all of them to Dakshayaga, the sacrifice where Daksha is performing. And they started ransacking the place, urinating the Yajna Kunda, throwing blood inside, beating people, chopping off the teeth from the sages, pulling them by their beard, pulling them by their matted hairs, tortured them. And finally, Veerabhadra chopped the head of Daksha and poured blood everywhere. Then you see, in Bhagavatam, not a single shloka is spoken about the activities of Veerabhadra. On the other hand, he was glorified. He killed so many people. He tortured the sages. He slapped them, urinated on top of them, threw them up and down, pulled them by their beard, chopped Daksha's head, did so much of things against Yajna, but still he was glorified. He was never blamed, even after doing so much of activities. And he is called the auspicious and the strongest one, Veerabhadra. You see the name Bhadra? He is called the auspicious one after killing so many people, throwing blood in Yajna. So the sages ask, why he is called the auspicious one after doing so much of activities like this? He did everything for the pleasure of Mahadev, who is the greatest Vaishnava. Even though the actions are not permitted, right? Just for the pleasure of Lord Shiva, when he did all these, all the inauspicious activities became auspicious. See the strange thing? All that killing and tormenting and torturing the sages, insulting. Actually, Daksha did not kill Sati, nor the sages killed Sati. They simply, especially Daksha insulted Sati. No, none other sages insulted Sati. But still, Veerabhadra punished each and every sage simply because his actions were connected to Lord Shiva. It turned auspicious and he was called the auspicious one, Veerabhadra. This is the meaning of this word Bhadra. Abhadra means the moment you connect with devotees and Lord, all the inauspicious, you name it in your life, whatever you have done in your previous life, killing people, torturing people, we must have done umpteen number of nonsense and sins in our life. The moment we connect with devotees and Lord, we become sin-free. We become sin-free. Very important. We should understand this word Bhadra. So what happens? The shloka says, Nashtaprayeshva Bhadresh. All the inauspiciousness that we have done for millions of lifetime will get cleared by the moment we get connected to Supreme Lord and His devotees. So I request Satish Prabhu to pull out this shloka 1517. First canto, chapter 5 and verse number 17. Please take this shloka. So the shloka says, you may not doing your activities properly only. Right? Yes, can you go to the translation, Prabhuji? Tyaktva swadharmam charanam. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam harer. Bhajanna pakvo atapate tato yadi. Yatra kvava badram abaddamusya kim. Kovarta apto bhajatam swadharmataha. One who has forsaken his material occupation to engage in devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage, yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. If a devotee, even though falls down by his immature activities, still Krishna says he is successful. He is never unsuccessful. A devotee, even though he commits wrong activities in this world by immaturity, performing all kinds of mistakes, still he is successful. On the other hand, we are not devotee, but performing everything perfectly in this world does not gain anything. It's a beautiful shloka. And in the third line, you can see, Yatrakva abhadram. So that Bhadrani word is very important. The moment we get connected to Krishna and His devotees, we become Bhadra from Abhadra. Right? So the last, okay, Prabhuji, we can go to the back, our shloka. So, it is very abhadrani, nashtaprayeshva abhadrani, nityam bhagavata. The moment we get connected to Krishna and His devotees, all the inauspiciousness gets vanished, which means, in other words, the moment we get connected to Krishna and His devotees, we become auspicious, we become fortunate, we become, like truth, honesty, fortune, you name it. Right? Then, the second word which we have to study here is Nityam. This is something very important. We should have a steadiness in bhakti. This is very important. We have to have steadiness. Sometimes some devotees, chant 64 rounds. Sometimes they chant 16 rounds. Sometimes they chant 0 round. They're not steady. And what is Nityam? Nityam Bhagavat, how can we define steadiness? If we are able to chant every day, listen to Bhagavatam or read Bhagavatam every day without restlessness, that means we are steady. We are fixed in that. When we are out of restlessness, that is very important. Generally, we become restless when we chant. Morning when we chant, we feel like sitting down. Then after a couple of rounds, we feel like walking. Then after a couple of rounds, we'll feel like lying. Then we feel like talking. And we feel mind will say, okay, you have done 10 rounds. No. Okay, you can come and do the rest in the evening. Mind will suggest something. Then we take the newspaper, we take this. And we do all the less important activities at the important time. Just because we don't have, it doesn't mean we don't have time. We became restless chanting. If we can get out of this restlessness in our japa time, and in our listening to Bhagavatam. Many times, mind will not allow us to sit and listen Bhagavatam. A devotee will be giving Bhagavatam. Mind will say, anyway, he is not a senior devotee. No, we don't have to go. He is also like of my same age only. Okay, I don't have to attend. Then the mind will say, anyway, it's recorded now. I will listen to it later. That never happens. Then the mind will say, anyway, they will be chanting Jai Radha Madhava for 10 times. No, I will go exactly after Jai Radha Madhava. Then the mind will say, let them read the shloka and translation, then I will go. So lazy and restless. The moment we beautifully get out of this restlessness and laziness, then we become fixed every day. Then it's called Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Steadiness is very important. Mental steadiness, physical steadiness. Sometimes some devotees will be running around and doing seva, very enthusiastic in seva. But if you ask them to chant, they can't chant. Somehow they finish 1 or 2 rounds and they just run away. They can't sit and chant. Some people do, on the name of chanting, they avoid devotional service. You give them seva, they will escape and go. Right? And they say, I'm chanting 32 rounds, 40 rounds. That is also not right. Everything should be balanced. Then what happens? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Then the third word is Naishtaki. If we can do this steady devotional service, then we are qualified for the devotion to Krishna. And this is what Naishtika Bhakti. Naishtika Bhakti means it is like once I am into it, it's like one-way ticket, one-way entry, I will never come back. It is like the raindrops from the cloud. Once the raindrop emerges from the cloud, the raindrops can never go back to the cloud. In the same way, Naishtiki means committed. The bhakti is guaranteed if we do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Then Krishna blesses that person. Even though he may be completely inauspicious. Even though he may be completely inauspicious. Right? Then Krishna gives everything. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you have this Vasudeva Vipra, a Brahmana who is attacked by leprosy. Vasudeva Vipra. He was in Kurma Desha. And somehow he came to know that Lord Chaitanya has come to Kurma Desha, in Andhra Pradesh. And Lord Chaitanya is staying in a Brahmana's house. He's called Kurma Brahmana's house. So the leper, he wanted so much to meet Lord Chaitanya. But his body is full of wound. And the wound has got all the maggots, that worms, everything. And he can't walk because many of his bodily parts have melted already. He has to crawl from one place to another. And while crawling, sometimes the worms will be thrown away from the wound. He will think, these worms have taken shelter of my body. My body is useless for me, but it's useful for the worms. Because my body is decaying and becoming food for them. Where they will go? So he will take the worms back and put inside the wound. And he heard Lord Chaitanya has come. So he simply wanted to stay from far and have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Want to see the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya and nothing else. That's all his desire was. So he was crawling on the ground and he traveled towards Kurma Desha. Unfortunately, when he came to Kurma Desha, Lord Chaitanya has already left Kurma Desha. And he was going towards Vijayanagara. The present Vizag. So Lord Chaitanya started traveling. Then this Vasudeva Vipra felt so bad. I am not qualified even to have darshan of my Lord. What a great sinner I don't want to go in front of the Lord. I don't want to talk, interact with the Lord. I just want to stay somewhere from a far place and see Him once. That's all I wanted. Because I don't want to go in between the crowd and create an unpleasant situation for other people. Because people were avoiding Him because His body was stinking. And he was like feeling so bad and he decided to commit suicide. Lord Chaitanya, who already set his journey for Vijayanagara, actually traveled quite a lot. He turned back and came all the way to Kurmadesha. He came back. And Lord Chaitanya came running and saw this man was crawling on the ground, this Vasudeva Vipra. Lord Chaitanya came running like a mad person and simply lifted him and embraced him towards his body. And the Brahmana was, Lord, my Lord, don't touch me. I'm contaminated. I'm impure. I have wounds and I have worms. Please, please. And Lord Chaitanya said, you are the most beautiful person. The moment when Lord Chaitanya embraced that Vasudeva Vipra, his body started glowing, all the wounds disappeared. He turned into a very gracious, handsome person. With tears in his eyes, he was like holding Lord Chaitanya's feet and begging for mercy. And Lord Chaitanya said, I have already given you mercy. And he was simply screaming out Krishna's name, hair standing on end, jumping. And the devotees, they saw, they were stunned. Even, Lord immediately cleared off his material things as well as blessed him with spirituality. Both was cured. Materially, he was suffering with such a bad disease. That was also cleared within a moment. And spiritually, he was enjoying that ecstasy. The moment we get in touch with a pure devotee or the Lord, everything will be cleared off. But only thing what we have to do from our side is our bhakti should be steady. Steady bhakti. We should put little extra effort. Bhakti, we should not take it in a very, very casual way, like a regular routine way. Put little more effort and try to chant attentively. Steady chanting every day. Same number of rounds at the fixed time daily. One day morning 6 o'clock, another day afternoon 2 o'clock, another day night 11 o'clock. No, we have to chant steadily at a particular time. And read Bhagavatam every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Read Bhagavatam every day, whether we understand, we don't understand. Some portion chapters are not very interesting, boring. Some chapters are dragging. No. We have to simply read Bhagavatam, whether we understand or don't. There was a Brahmana. He used to go to a temple and he used to read Bhagavatam every day. Sometimes he won't understand the meaning of it. But he used to read every day and all, and gradually he learnt Bhagavat. Then the way he was chanting Bhagavat became so beautiful. And devotees started listening to it, and he used to give explanation. People were enjoying. And he was doing it very sincerely. So one day somebody invited him to read Bhagavatam in a Lord Shiva temple, Mahadev Mandir. So this Brahmana went there. And he read Bhagavatam. And that was Rukmani Harana. How Krishna kidnapped Rukmani. So while he was reading so sweetly, devotees could envision the whole Leela happening in front of that. So beautifully he was reading and narrating. Devotees enjoyed it. Then he closed the book, kept a bookmark. Then he said, we will continue tomorrow. So all the devotees, they left home. Then next day he came and opened the book. The bookmark was in the previous place where he read the previous day, the Rukmani Harana. So he thought maybe some devotees wanted to hear it once again. That's why they changed the bookmark. So second day also he explained the same Rukmani Harana. Then he kept the bookmark at the end of the chapter. Then he went. Third day when he came, again the bookmark was in the original place. He was wondering, what is this? Every day same topic. Again he did. It went on for days and days, and he was chanting the same chapter again and again. But devotees never felt boring or repetition. Katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Devotees were simply relishing the same pastime again and again and again and again for a month. Then he closed that, kept bookmark, then he went, and suddenly he remembered. He forgot his angavastra and everything, paraphernalia in the temple. So he came back too. And by the time the temple was closed, everything was over. And as he was reaching, even the pujari left. As he was reaching the gates, he could hear a huge sound and screaming and laughing and, all kinds of strange noises, everything. Then he peeped through the door. He wanted to know what is going on inside. Then he saw, he was stunned. Lord Shiva is reading Rukmani Haran. Mother Parvati, Ganesha, Subramanya, Kartikeya, and all the Bhutaganas, they were sitting and listening and laughing and screaming and enjoying Rukmani Harana. How Rukmani was kidnapped by Krishna. And they were like clapping and beating drums and enjoying. And this Brahmana was stuck with wonder. And Parvati is asking, why are you keeping the bookmark every day at the same place? Why you didn't allow the Brahmana to go further? Actually, Lord Shiva was replacing the bookmark. Then Lord Shiva said, how beautifully he speaks about Bhagavad. I wanted to hear again and again and again. And this devotee was like, trembling. And this devotee was like, a voice got choked and so many things. So they were listening to the same thing again. And Parvati asked Lord Shiva, how was that? Lord Shiva asked Parvati, how was my reading and explanation? So Parvati said, no, the Brahmana was better. He was reading it better. So, he was reading it better than you. So this devotee was completely in deep shock. So he was a simple person. But every day steadily reading Bhagavatam with devotion made him qualified that Lord Shiva with his family came and listened to him. This is the glory of reading Bhagavatam. Once Prabhupada in England, when devotees ran around and arranged a town hall, they worked very hard and arranged a hall. Everything, they put everything in place. But unfortunately, nobody turned up. Prabhupada came, sang Jai Radha Madhava. Hardly 2-3 people were in the hall. The capacity was like 700 seat, empty. Prabhupada gave a bombarding class for 2 people, 3 people, and he walked. And devotees went back to his room and they begged forgiveness and they said, sorry, we tried, nobody turned. Prabhupada smilingly said, who said nobody came? Narad Muni was there. He said some names of some great celebrities. Devas. And devotees were like shocked. They didn't know how to respond to it. Simply read Bhagavatam whether we understand or not, with devotion, right? And be very humble in front of devotees. Seniors, juniors, experienced, inexperienced, qualified ones, unqualified ones, male, female, children, never have any kind of discrimination. Simply have humility in front of devotees. That's all. When we do these things, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, book Bhagavata and the person Bhagavata, both with faith and steady in chanting and steady in listening to Bhagavatam. Then what happens? We get two results. All abhadras are cleared. Everything becomes auspicious. And the second one, Naishtika Bhakti. That whatever we have experienced, it can never go back. Irrevocable devotion. Naishtika Bhakti we get. So let us have a mature devotion. So devotees should know how to balance things. What are the three things? My sadhana, my seva, and my karma. We have to balance. What is sadhana? Chanting the holy name, and reading Bhagavatam, serving, reading, chanting, worshipping, sadhana. Then serving Vaishnavas, preaching. Then the third, my own family responsibilities. Right? Prabhupada said, all my devotees, disciples should be expert in everything. Expert. So sometimes what happens, devotees, they chant a lot, but they are not attentive to their family, not doing their duties, negligible towards the duties, or they avoid seva and they chant alone. And some people are running and doing seva, they don't chant. Some people are very much attached to family, they don't chant or serve. All these things creates imbalance. So devotion should be a balanced one. Chanting proper, solid 16 round chanting. Then serving Vaishnavas properly, reading Bhagavatam, equally dividing time for everything and time for our family also. And if we can gradually increase everything together, my japa, my sadhana, my seva, my everything, if we can do it gradually, simultaneously, then if we are trying and if there is some kind of difficulty, like the shloka we just referred, even though immaturely the devotee commits a mistake, it is not unsuccessful. He is successful. So it is very important. So once again, serving book Bhagavatam and serving devotee Bhagavatam and steady chanting. While chanting and reading, we should slowly overcome of restlessness. And what are the result? All the abhadras will be cleared and we will have Naishtika Bhakti. That's it. Everything. Once Lord and devotees are pleased, like Shivananda Sena in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he had 3 sons. And the youngest one, Paramananda Sena, was a baby boy. And actually what happened, every year Shivananda Sena will arrange the tour between Mayapur and Jagannath Puri, from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri. They all come for Rath Yatra. Every year devotees come from Navadvip for Rath Yatra. Shivananda Sena arranges everything. 20,000 people, 30,000 people, 50,000 people. He arranges accommodation, gives prasad, their transport, make sure all the devotees are comfortable. And sometimes devotees don't have enough money to share. For them, Shivananda Sena will pay. Everything, he will treat everybody is comfortable. They come, attend Rath Yatra and go. And Lord Chaitanya became very happy with Shivananda Sena's seva. Very happy with that. Because such wonderfully he is serving devotees. Everybody is comfortable. He makes sure everyone is comfortable, including the dog. He took care of the dog also. So first when he came, Lord Chaitanya blessed his wife to have a baby boy. Second year when she came, she was pregnant. Lord Chaitanya again blessed her. Third time she came with a baby boy in her hand. Lord Chaitanya again blessed her. That boy was called Paramananda Sen. So he came, Shivananda Sena came and in front of Lord Chaitanya and said, please bless him. And Lord Chaitanya asked, what's his name? And he said, Paramananda Sena. Lord Chaitanya said, no, he is Paramananda Puri. And Lord Chaitanya laughed. And immediately Shivananda Sena's wife took that baby and put him on the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. And the boy started crawling, the baby boy started crawling and sucking the toe of Lord Chaitanya. He was like, choosing, sucking the toe of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya smiled. And next year when he came, he was hardly like 3-4-year-old boy. When he saw Lord Chaitanya, he quoted a wonderful shloka at the age of 4 or 5. And the devotees said, Kavi, Kavi, Mahakavi. They blessed and screamed. And from that day, the boy was called Kavi Karunapura, 5-year-old boy. He wrote so many scriptures about Lord Chaitanya and Krishna, establishing the supremacy of Lord Chaitanya. Simply because he sucked the toe of Lord Chaitanya. And what made him qualified? Because he was Shivananda Sena's son. And what made Shivananda Sena qualified? He was simply expert in serving Vaishnavas. So serving devotees and Nityam Bhagavata, steady in our seva. Not like suddenly one festival we serve so much and the rest of the year we don't have any seva, like up and down. Shouldn't be like that. Steady seva. So beautiful shloka, Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Thank you very much, Prabhujis. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Hare Krishna.